Mills and Peter Howell and all that back in the day, many, many moons ago. And fine. One thing I'll give them, that Dick Mills worked with Delia Derbyshire. Peter Howell, who had done the new version when Tom was doing it last season, that very strange. Basically, taken from the Bum-de-Bums through this huge thing. And it was an awful title sequence. Got on like a house or what. And when they did the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who, at the prom, live, they fucking got it wrong. Because the Bum-de-Bums were there, the Ooh-Oohs were completely out of sight. And I went, wait, and when it was retransmitted, they had changed it slightly, so you could hear it as it should be. So God knows what people were doing in the Royal Albert Hall.
Well, one of the things that annoyed us was that the Olympic opening ceremony was supposed to feature the doctors.
Yeah.
And they cut it for length because they had that long sequence about how wonderful the NHS
But
is.
you did actually have that situation when you heard TARDIS.
There's a tiny underscore.
It is so quick.
And I heard it in a bar in Edinburgh, and I said, "Wait a minute, that's
enough said." That was enough.
Yeah, but it would have been nice to have it.
Why would it be nice to have them all trooping out like no one's business?
Yes.
I don't think that would. I think it would have been just to have the police box there. Though, of course, the fact that when they contacted her, she said, "Would you mind appearing with James Bond?" And she said, "Oh yes."
But I must be honest with you, I thought that was special. I actually, because I wasn't there, but on transmission, and you know it's being cut.
Yes.
So, no, she's not going to, she's already there.
Yeah, of course she is, yeah.
But what made me laugh is, when, what made me laugh? It didn't make me laugh at all. I was impressed. Is the fact Bond comes up into Buckingham Palace, and the corgis around him like no one's business and all that. I just stands there.
Yeah. Well, I
thought it's somebody in a wig, and you turn it, oh, Miss Bond.
Well,
right,
one of the things about...
And I just sat there and went, it's the fucking Queen!
I know, I was enthralled by the whole thing. It just got better and better and better. I think it was the time when the guys in the Victorian outfits turned up there, and I thought, oh my God, this is so good.
I realised, disturbingly, I knew 3 of the Brunels because I've seen them at the Fringe and other events, and one of them sadly is now dead. Accident.
But didn't you think of the
stuntman?
The stuntman from the
what was interesting? What was interesting in the Olympics was the situation when you did have, they did all that, and you could see there was difference, visual and all that. What was interesting is when the helicopters actually were up there, and Bond literally threw her out. And came down like that, like Roger Moore, you know,
from
that.
Live and Let Die. No. Spy Love Me? That's the one where he's got the British parachute. Yeah.
Cool.
I particularly...
She doesn't know you know these days.
He knows the sort of kind of stuff.
My favourite sequence of that.
But the landing was hilarious. Hilarious? How do I get that?
It's fine.
What was interesting, immediately the land happened, there was a camera on, the Queen just walked up with Prince Philip. And I loved it. I said, that's impossible.
Well, one story I heard about the Queen from second hand.
Okay, let's go and tell the story.
I can tell you, there's several Queen stories, but the one I particularly like is in this context.
Oh, don't look at me, look at him.
A friend of mine got... a colleague of his got invited to have private dinner with the Queen, so there's only 50 of you. And the guy who was invited was a very senior barrister and done all sorts of good stuff. Anyway, and he said it's quite private. And you go in and you're introduced, and the Queen sits there, and she talks rather more freely than she would normally. And it was very clear at the time she had very little time for Mr. Blair. I hope you're not recording this. Don't put this on Facebook.
But
anyway,
and quite right.
Keep going on.
The story, what happened was, at the end of dinner was finished, and the doors opened, all the corgis ran in, and they're all going, hello, because these stupid dogs. And they were afraid of some scraps and stuff, and conversation was going on, and then it was time to withdraw into the other room for brandy and cigars, and the Queen went, and the corgis all out through the door. Footman opens the door, all the corgis stream out, and this chap said, I must say, Your Majesty, I was extremely impressed by that. And she said, well, I am Queen, you know. The other one is do you know Helen McCarthy from back in the day? Helen McCarthy, Steve Kite?
One of my oldest friends.
Yeah, you may have come across, she's a costume fan particularly.
She now publishes a lot of books on Japanese anime.
Oh, well, Tony Luke might know her.
Might well do.
But the thing is, her husband now works, he's an artist primarily, but obviously he needs to earn a living as well. So he works at Buckingham Palace. He's one of the guides. But one of his colleagues, they were getting the wedding anniversary stuff all set up in the glass cabinets and stuff. And one of his colleagues was there. They just got the dress and everything sorted out. She just stood back, and she knew that someone else had walked in. She was just one of her colleagues. She didn't look around. She went, and this voice says, "Lovely, isn't it?" And she turned around, and it was the Queen. It just wandered in on her own, and she said, "Don't worry, I'm just having a walk around. You've got a job to do. Don't let me upset you." And they both looked at Jess, and the girl said, "It's absolutely lovely." And the Queen said, "Yes, it is, but I don't think I could get into it now."
I had several friends who were actually working for Royal Household back in the day, a long time ago. And the one other thing about it was there's all these apocryphal situations that people would say. Now, Michael Kelly lives in Dre.